we're going to start like this. It's called hero pose. And we're going to open our palms, so turn the palms up. And take a little bit of time to settle in. I'm sure you know, probably a lot of you, I think all of you have been at work, or certainly will have, you know, had a busy day. So yeah, just take this this little moment to settle in. You can close your eyes if that feels good. Or just lower your gaze. And notice the sensation in your hand. So you very commonly, you know, especially when we're working, all our energy's up in the head. So nice to just transfer our focus to the lower body. Maybe there's heat or tingling, vibration, pulsing. And then we're going to begin to notice our breath. So at this point, not trying to change anything, just noticing it. So noticing that cooling sensation coming in through the nose, ideally breathing in and out through the nose. So nice cooling sensation around the nostrils as you take a breath in. And noticing where the breath travels. It might be quite high, might only have it quite high up on the chest. Maybe it comes lower into the lower ribs. Maybe you can sense it in the belly. And then we'll begin to just observe the out breath. It's quite a different quality of the out breath. It's usually a cooling in breath and a warming out breath. And so just keep this sort of easy breath. So when I say easy breath, ideally you don't want to labour your breath, but we do want to get a deep breath. So by deep, I mean into these lower ribs, so a sense of those lower ribs moving out as you take a deep breath. So at this point, we are trying to shape the breath a little bit more. So deep, easy breath in, and then a slow breath out. So a little bit shaping that out breath so it's a little bit longer than the in breath. And if that's not happening, that's okay. You know, it's definitely, for me, it's very difficult, I think, the breath practice. So just be patient. It's not coming straight away. And I wanted to just add in a little mantra. It's a mantra that we don't say out loud. We're just going to say it internally. And it's so hum, and it just means I am that. So it sort of helps break the idea that we are just, you know, one, contained and separate, locked away. You know, lockdown's made us feel like that a lot, hasn't it? That we're kind of little separate entities in isolation. the practice of yoga is to reconnect. So I am that so-hum, and the words also are said to mirror the rhythm of the breath. So is the in-breath, hum is the out-breath. So let's just see if we can breathe in, so. Breathe out, hum. Slightly longer, that out-breath. So just have a little go with that. It's just a tool. Breathe in, so. Breathe out, hum. So one more of those breaths. Deep and easy. On the in-breath, slow. On the out-breath. So we're going to come into downward dog. So you can put your block, if you're using it, to one side. And we'll start, actually, before we do that downward dog, just come to kneeling. So spread your hands, really engage the joints of the hands. And then tuck your toes under. And we're pushing the floor away with the hands to come into downward dog. And we're going to try and keep that sense of the breath. So we'll do that by bringing in a little bit of movement. So we're going to bend one knee. You can choose which knee. Bend one knee and take a deep breath in. Bend the other knee and take a breath out. Bend one knee, take a breath in. Bend the other knee, breath out. And just one more of those, just to keep the sense of the rhythm of the breath. And we're going to try and keep that going, but it's normal to lose it a little bit. So we're going to lift the right foot, and we keep the toes pointing down. So we're taking the foot behind us. Keep the toes pointing down. And then we're going to swing it forward and step into a lunge position. And I'm really interested in the inner thighs, as I think you'll remember from my recent classes. So let's bring our hands to the big toe edge of the foot. And can we line up the knee off the right leg and squeeze it against the right arm? So we're engaging the inner thigh. So that might be easy. It might feel quite hard. So just do, if you need to shuffle in with the back knee, go, shuffle in with the back knee. If you're feeling like it's easy for you, you can really sense the inner thigh engaging, then lift the back knee. And then you've just got a little bit more going on. So keeping that nice, strong engagement of the inner thigh, pressing into the arm. And then bring the back knee down. We're going to lift our arms down, bring them all the way up into a lunge. We've got the back knee down at this point, and then take the arms behind us, interlace them. So interlace the hands, grip them quite firmly. Just make a note of which thumb is on top. Just note which thumb is on top, and then we're plunging those knuckles down to the floor. And we're going to keep a sense of those inner thighs, so that it feels quite powerful in the lower body. Pressing the buttocks in towards each other, so it's sort of slightly squeezing. And then can you sort of squeeze the muscles either side of the spine in towards the spine? And you can even squeeze your shoulder blades in. So you're really working the back body at this point. But it's a gentle feeling, not a brutal, grip, a gentle grip. Well done. So we just release the hands down either side of the foot. We're going to step back into a plank. And if you love your planks, then just stay in your plank. But if you feel like you want to bring the knees down, do that. And then we take a chaturanga. So that, yeah, you might want to bring your knees down for that. So we're bending the elbow. It's a little yoga press up. But in fact, we're going to go all the way down to the floor. And we're going to take a cobra. So the hands slide back towards your ribs. And we're going to squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the buttocks. Feel that squeeze of the muscles all the way up the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And maybe lift the head and shoulders. It doesn't have to be a huge lift. And we'll just hold that position for a breath. And then come down, rest the head. Completely relax those muscles now. Rest the head. And then we're going to push up into upward dog. So the hands are by the lower ribs. We're spreading the fingers. We're pushing up and away. Pull the belly up. Really, belly, you want to feel like it's really working quite hard here. It's pulling back towards the spine. And then we'll take our bum back towards the heels. Tuck the toes under, up into downward dog. So just reconnect with your breath here. Bend one knee, take a breath in. Bend the other knee, take a breath out. Bend one knee, take a breath in. Bend the other knee, take a breath out. We're lifting the opposite leg, so it's the left leg. So we're keeping it, as you probably know, I like to sort of swing my leg up really high, but in fact, we're going to contain it a little bit here, so that it's more about strength, so that we're really feeling the thighs engaging and the buttocks squeezing in a little bit, toes turned down, so it's very, sort of contained. And then we're stepping the foot forward. So we're in this lunge position, and we're bringing our arms to the big toe side of the foot. So you squeeze the outer arm with the knee. So again, more inner thigh. And if that's easy for you, you can lift the back knee. And if you're finding it tough, then just you don't have to go for you can go for something gentler. Just hold it here. Press the floor away with your hands. And can you move your shoulders away from your ears? They'll want to hunch up a little bit towards the ear. Try and move them back down the body. And then we're going to come up into an upright lunge. We can take our arms up overhead. We're going to feel those inner thighs working a little bit here, so that you've got a sense of the energy of this pose coming into the midline, as opposed to, sort of being all, but really keeping a strong, solid foundation. And then we're going to take our arms back behind us. Hopefully you can remember which thumb was on top. And then gripping firmly, plunging your knuckles down to the floor, dropping the shoulders, and a little sense of those muscles of the back body engaging. Like keeping just squeezing those muscles. Really work the shoulder blades as well, between the shoulder blades. And then release your hands down, step back to plank. So if you want to kneel, a kneeling plank, then that's fine. Take a kneeling plank. And we're going to do a little sort of twist with this plank. So if you're kneeling, you will kneel. It's like a kneeling plank. So you take I'll quickly show you. You take the right knee, the right elbow, right heels over to the heels over to the right side, but you keep the weight into the hands. So it's a twisting side plank. If you're kneeling, you can use the knees to support you a little bit, but take your feet over to the right. And we're really pressing into the hands here. So although we are twisting, we're not losing that even weightedness into the hands. So you get more twisty sensation. And try and keep your ribs contained and a feeling of belly pulling back. quite strong. And then back to center, and we'll go the other way. So heels over to the other side. Keep the weight into the hands. So the hand, you'll want to roll over more into one hand, but resist that. If you're kneeling, you just lift your feet and take them over. And then back to center, and we're going to lower our body now to the floor. So if you can, do that with control, so the elbows are bending slowly, so lower yourself down. And we're taking a W shape with the arms now. So we're going to do a little back bend, but it's this kind of shape, elbows pressing towards the waist, hands spread, thighs pressing together, pubic bone pressing down, squeezing the bum, and then hopefully a nice rippling sensation of all those muscles up and up the spine engaging. So don't worry about it being a big move. It's the quality of the engagement of the muscles that makes this good, not how high you come. And if you do it right, it should feel very therapeutic. And if you're pushing yourself too hard, you might feel a pinching, which we don't want. So don't let that happen. Just don't come up so high. So the hands could lift, but if you're feeling a little vulnerable in your lower back, keep the hands down, but maintain that W shape. And maybe you could get a feeling of stretching the throat as well. And then completely drop your weight down, completely drop your head to the floor. And relax your body. So one breath here. We're going to slide our hands back so they come to the lower ribs. Spread the fingers. Press firmly down through your hands. And then moving into your upward dog. Really pull your belly back. So we're not rushing here. We've got time to really feel the belly pulling back. And then you can roll your shoulders back too. Maybe even take your gaze to the right, look back at the heel, and then take your gaze to the left, look back at the other heel. Back to center. We're coming back briefly to a sort of child pose. Tuck your toes under and back to downward dog. So reconnect with your breath here. So bend one knee, take a breath in. Bend the other knee, take a breath out. Bend one knee, breath in. Bend the other knee, slow breath out. So we're going to lift the right foot when you're ready. And keeping that, it doesn't have to be a big movement. The foot comes behind us, sorry, I should have said, yeah. But we do want to feel the inner thighs on both legs, buttocks engaged. And then we're stepping forward again. We're going to bring our right hand onto our thigh. We're going to lift the left hand. And we're going to do, I'll just turn around so you can see me. We're going to take that left hand and we're going to bend the arm and we're going to kind of turn towards the bent leg, the front leg. And we're going to see if we can hook our arm over the knee. So it's a sort of twist, lunge twist. And then you can make a fist with that left hand, wrap the right hand around the fist. So it's like that. It's quite a powerful feeling. If you've not done a twist like this for a while, you might be feeling a bit stiff, especially if you've been sitting down all day. So yeah, just be patient. It's hard, I think. Make time to breathe. If you want to go stronger, lift the back knee. And have a little look at your top shoulder, your right shoulder. Can you just roll it back a little bit and away from the ears so that you're not hunching in with that top shoulder. And then another little detail, you can lift the toes of the right foot. See if you can lift them and spread them so they're not all scrunched up, uncomfortable. And let's bring that back knee down. If you've lifted it, we're bringing the left hand down. We're just taking a more traditional sort of twist, lifting the right hand, pressing down with the left hand. And if you want to then lift the back knee, go for it. So we want the movement here, the twist, to come from above the waist. So try and keep the hips quite even. So one way to do that is to squeeze in, squeeze the thighs in, squeeze the buttocks in, and then you get a lot of stability so that the movement's more thoracic spine up back. It should feel good. Up back. So we're going to take a little side plank here. So if you need to bring the back knee down, do that. We're shuffling the front foot back and we're rolling onto the little toe edge of the back foot. So we've got a supported side plank. Right foot is supporting us. Left hand down, right hand lifted. Pressing into the little toe edge of that back foot and squeezing your thighs together. Lift your hips, press the floor away with your hand. Strong. If you need to bring one hand behind the head, sometimes that's just a bit easier on the shoulders. Do that. Well done. Come down, bring your hand down. We're going to just see if we can, so here we are, both hands down. We're going to just see if we can step the foot back. So we're in that wonky plank again, that sort of twisty plank. So both feet are together and we're resting on the little toe edge of the left foot. And then turn back into a regular plank and we'll take a kneeling position that we started in. So come back to rest for a moment. Turn your palms up. And then let's just take this moment to reconnect with your breath. And also you can, just tune into whatever's going on in your body now. Any other interesting things that came up. Just making time. For the full expression of your body, which we override a lot of the time because we're rushing. And I'm conscious we're working your wrists and arms quite strong today, so let's just do something a little bit nice for the hands. So interlace the hands, and then you can press them away. Really open up the palm, really extend through the fingers. And then we're going to come back so that the hands are gripping, still keep that grip. And then we're going to do this little, if you can keep the palms quite close together and even the forearms pressing in. And it's a little, I don't know what you call it, little rotation with the wrists. Go the other way. Slightly. And then we will we'll release that. So just notice which thumb was on top. Release, take your hands away. And we'll do it with the opposite thumb. Just a few more of those. Go slow if you prefer. Slow, meditative. Go the other way. And then we're going to release the hands and we're taking another downward dog. So press down into a downward dog. Sorry, hands come down to the floor, tuck your toes under, find your downward dog. reconnect with the breath for a moment. So bend one knee, take a breath in, bend the other knee, take a breath out. One knee, take a breath in. The other knee, take a breath out. And we're lifting the left foot. So yeah, you can really, if you want to lift this very high, go for it, but do try and keep the feeling of strength in the leg. Toes point down. Sometimes we get the extension, but we lose a bit of strength when we do the big moves. So we're going to step that foot forward. We're going to bring our left hand onto the knee. We're going to bring the right hand up. So we're in a lunge. We're going to bend that right elbow, and we're take a bit of time to hook your arm. So we're taking a twist. So I don't know about you, but it's a little bit tricky to get into this sometimes. So just take a bit of time. We're hooking the arm over the knee. We're making a fist with that right arm. We're going to wrap the left hand around the fist and then just hang out here. And if you want to lift the back knee, you could do that. Or so, remember, or certainly make time for your breath. Have a little look at your shoulder, your top shoulder, and can you move it away from your ears? Can you roll it back a little? So that you're not collapsing. And it's the upper back that we want to twist here. So the hips are still, the thighs are strong, inner thigh strong. Brilliant, well done. So we're taking the right hand down. We're just taking more of a conventional twist now, lifting the left hand. Again, if you want to lift the back knee, if you need something gentler for the shoulders, then maybe bend the arm, have it behind the head. That's really good as well. And we're transitioning into that side plank. So in a moment, so we're going to, so to do that, you might need to shuffle that the front foot back quite a bit. Roll onto the little toe edge of the right foot. See if you can step back. So you've got both feet together. I know this is strong, but you're doing brilliantly. Keep the ribs in, keep the belly engaged. And then you can hold this for a bit longer if you want to, or bring the hand down so you are in that sort of twisty side plank. So make sure that you do press into that left hand. Well done. And then bring your knees down. And we're just going to drop the chest towards the floor. So our bum is above our knees. So we're not letting the bum go back. And we're dropping the chest. So it's sort of quite nice for the upper back. So either you have your arms out in front of you, arms straight, or elbows bent, arms out to the side, depending on how your shoulders are. Both actually feel really good. So just take this time to reconnect with your breath. Which might be a little bit faster. Heartbeat a little bit faster maybe. So smooth it out with your breath. And then, yeah, well done. We're going to come back up into a downward dog. We're going to step the right foot forward. And yeah, I just wanted to have a little go at a little something that I've been practicing with another group, but I think I've done it with you as well. We're going to bring the hands to the big toe side of the foot again. We're going to squeeze really firmly into the arm with that right knee. And then lift the heel of that right foot. We've got the back knee down at this point. Just going to see if we can lift that foot so that it's supported by the arm. You could bend the arm a little bit to support it. So it's like a crow pose, half a crow. So have a go. Don't feel, yeah, it's just a work in progress, this. If you do feel that it feels okay, you get the foot off, you feel okay, you could lift the back knee. So it's like a plank, sort of a plank with a half a crow thrown in. And then come down. We'll just come up one more time into a lunge, so bring our arms up overhead. Big circle of the arms, take them behind us, interlace the fingers, use the grip on the hand to help you really powerfully move the shoulders down the body, squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can squeeze your thighs a little and squeeze the buttocks and feel that chain of muscles up the posterior chain, I think they call it, up the back. Just trying to find the power in the back of the body. And we're releasing. Hands down. Take one more downward dog. And stepping forward with the left foot. So again, we're just gonna see what we can do with that knee, if we can squeeze it into the outer edge of the arm. Maybe lift the foot. Maybe lift the back knee. If it feels absolutely impossible to get the foot off the ground, it's one thing that will really, really help is just bring the back knee further to the hands. It's about just getting the balance of weight right. So you can definitely all do this. It's just a question of where you put that back knee. So we're bringing the foot down. Yeah, sorry, I haven't given you very long to do that. Practice, if you want to hold it for a bit longer, that of course, please do. It's half a crow. And, if you've had enough, you can come up. You can come up into your lunge. Take your arms up overhead. And bring them behind you. Hopefully you can remember which thumb you gripped on the top, which thumb was on top, and swap, so you've got the other thumb. And it doesn't look like a back arch, but there is a little bit of a back arch here if you want it, but it's we want to move into that, if we're going to do that, from a strength position. So really feel the inner thighs. You can even use your pelvic floor a little, bum ferns, presses, buttocks firm together. Feel that chain of muscles up the back. Squeeze them in. Press down with the hands. Shoulders move away from the ears. Should feel quite free, nice around the shoulders. We're going to bring our hands down. So releasing. We're going to lift that back knee. We're going to step forward. So taking a forward bend. Let the body drop down over the legs. And then we're going to come lower into a squat. So at this point, if you're using a block, take and you want to have a bit of support, you can sit on your block. If you're not needing the block, that's fine. Just keep it to one side. But if you're yeah, not everyone enjoys squats. So now, seeing as we've done all this preparation of strengthening our inner thighs, it might be really nice for you to practice your crow here. So we want to hook the knee on the outer edge of the arm. See if we can do that. You might need to lift your bum a tiny bit to do that. And it's quite a strong movement, so you're pushing quite firmly into the arm, and the arm is pushing back, as you know. And if you don't feel like doing any balancing, that's fine. You can stay here, and you'll be building loads of strength. If you do want to try a little balancing, look forward, lift your bum a little higher, and just try one foot, just lifting one foot. So we practice that from the lunge. Oh, brilliant, very good. Some good crows going on. And then try the other foot. And if you're feeling like actually you're needing more of something restorative, you can just drop lower into your squat and let the bum really drop down and make it almost like a squatting forward bend. If you're enjoying crow, then spend a little longer on your crow or bakasana it's called in Sanskrit. And then we are going to come back to our Vajrasana, our kneeling position. So when you're ready to sit back on your heels, turn your palms up. And we're just taking this moment to reconnect with the breath. And noticing what's going on in the body. So maybe it's nice we started with the hands, so we can come back to the hands. We did work the hands quite hard today, so noticing the sensations. It could be a feeling of warmth, maybe a vibration, a pulse, maybe moisture, feeling a bit sweaty, quite a warm day. So we're going to use our we're going to try and shape the breath a little bit. So we're going to imagine that the breath's traveling up and down the body. So if you're not sensing the breath, the movement of the breath in the body, if you're not into doing that, if that's not your practice, then just see it as a visualization exercise. And in fact, that is very effective just as a visualization exercise. I think they say it does the same kind of, sends off the same triggers in the brain. So what we want to do is sense the breath in the belly, first of all, breathing into the belly, breathing into the lower ribs. If it helps you to bring a hand onto the belly or hands onto the ribs, if that works for you to bring your focus, you can do that. So we're breathing into the belly, breathing into the lower ribs, and then breathing into the heart. And then as we breathe out, you can visualize the breath leaving those three centers, emptying from the heart, from the lower ribs, from the belly. So let's do a few breaths like this. Breathing into the belly. 3-part yoga breath. It's a sort of very traditional technique. Into the belly, into the ribs, into the heart. And let's make it smooth as we can without forcing it. So one way we do that to smooth out the breath is using the ocean breath technique, which is, I think most of you know this anyway, but I'll just explain. It's we're breathing in and out through the nose, but we constrict a little bit around the throat, so we make a sound. And the sound is a bit like the sea, hence the name ocean breath. And it's a little bit like not exactly a snore, a sigh, a bit, yeah, or some people say a bit like Darth Vader, very friendly Darth Vader. So that kind of hissing, almost hissing sound. So just try a few rounds of that. It's another technique to bring your focus, to refine your focus. Maybe you have a sense of the breath being larger than these 3 cavities. So if you want to visualize the breath coming all the way up to the crown of the head on that in-breath, little tingling around the crown of the head. All the way down the body to the tailbone. Maybe a little tingling around the tailbone. Another couple of these deep, easy breaths. And then but we just finished with a little bit of sort of using some pressure points. So we'll take our hands, hopefully you've got nice warm hands, but if they're not warm, give them a little rub. And we're going to take our hands to the occiput. So that's the cavity at the back. So you'll feel the skull. And then as you slide your fingers down the skull, there's that little cavity. And usually it's when you've been doing lots of sort of stressy sort of work, that area gets really sore, and there's a connection with the eyes as well. So you can gently press in. You can come into the midline with your fingers, but you can also press out towards the ears. And then we're going to just use, we'll do one side at a time. We're just going to use the palm to sort of grip that big chunky muscle, the sternocleidomastoid on the out of the neck. You can come all the way down to the top of the shoulders, give it a squeeze. So if your neck is very sore, then less is better. But you can go quite strong usually. With your fingers, explore the cavities around the vertebrae, from the topmost vertebrae, the atlas, all the way down to the lower part of the neck, just pressing in. we can go to the other side, so just squeezing this big muscle. Kind of grip it quite strong sometimes. Coming to the top of the shoulder, and breathe as you move. And then take your fingertips and lightly dabbing in, exploring those little cavities in the neck. You know, it's obviously very nice if you get someone to do this for you, but you can do a lot for yourself. Actually, this is nice at the end of the day, you know, in bed, you can do something like this. That's really surprisingly effective for releasing tension. Do both hands together. We're going to make little fists now. And we're going to bring them into the underside of the cheekbone. So this big bone here, and you can go right in. You can drop your head onto the fists. And you can kind of knead that area with your fists. It feels pretty nice. And really do make time to breathe. sounds so obvious, doesn't it? But kind of forget when you're concentrating. And of course, you can explore all along the cheekbone if you want to, the way out to the ear. And then we're going to just take our thumbs, we're going to press into this little cavity between the eyebrow and the nose. Again, you can let the weight of your head drop into the thumb. And even roll your head a little bit over these. Explore the area. It's only a small area, but sometimes you can move your thumb a tiny fraction and then it will feel very, very good. Even in that tiny area, there can be a better kind of, or a slightly shift in direction. Or we're going to finish with the third eye. So we're taking our thumbs now, the thumb joint, pressing into the third eye. So it's the procerus muscle, which is also a very important point in acupuncture. They use it for the lower back, but they also use it for anxiety and when they're trying to calm the mind. Yin Tang, it's called. So you can kind of press in, and you can almost do like a little facelift, push up, and you can also pull out a little. Do a few of those, pressing in, up, out. And even slide the thumb joint over the brow, and to the outer edge of the eyebrow there's a little hook, not a hook, a little point you can hook in. It was really nice. Press in towards the eye and then up. So all points used in acupuncture. So just rest your hands when you're ready. Just rest them for a moment. It's quite strong on the arms. And take your awareness down into the hands. We're going to come into Shavasana. So get your comfortable things. If you have any discomfort in your lower back, then perhaps something under the knees, or even legs on a chair, which I'm a huge fan of, legs on a chair. We'll demonstrate what that would look like. Bring the lower leg right up onto the chair. Very, very good if your mind is finds it difficult to settle. Also very, very good if you've got any lower back pain. And I thoroughly encourage something over the eyes, especially if you're using screens to block out the light. Very good for the brain. The eyes need darkness. I'm going to let the body be heavy, be as heavy as it can be. Arms and legs, heavy. Hands and feet, heavy. Head and torso. Committing the whole body to rest. Relaxing the jaw. Allow the tongue to be soft and fill the mouth. So we're practicing letting go. We're practicing not doing. Quite challenging. Nothing to prove in this moment. Nothing to do, nothing to just completely resting. And sensing the inner life of the body. Prana or chi in Chinese, ki in Japanese. The life force. You can maybe even get a sense of melting as you rest your weight, as you fully release your weight to the ground. Maybe there's a lightness that comes. Sense of floating or sense of boundaries dissolving. Maybe there's a sense of being a bit freer. Feeling of possibility. Maybe sense of the breath as being not your breath, but almost like the universe breathing through you. In and out. Enjoy that rhythm. So if you're feeling ready to come back, you can begin to bring some small movements into the fingers and toes, or maybe just roll your head a little from left to right. And then from there, if you're ready, you can roll onto your side and just for a moment curl up. If you can. Just for a moment pausing. That idea of the pause is really good in yoga. It's really good to have these little pauses, reconnect. And then very slowly, smoothly, without disturbing that nice, hopefully nice feeling, peaceful feeling, make your way up to sitting. And so summer is very much definitely here, isn't it? Even though we did have some cold weather. And the bees are going mad. So I thought I would finish with Brahmari breath, which is bee breath. And it's said to be very good for the heart, creates a really lovely vibration. And the hum, in fact, when you hum as well in doing an om, for example, or you're creating this interesting sort of vibration in the nasal cavity, and that produces this gas called nitric oxide, and it's incredibly beneficial. So all the more good to do this sort of humming breath. So you actually do create a vibration over your lips. So it's a sort of that kind of thing. But you block your eyes and you block your ears, so that you have this very strong internal sense. No one else can hear you because you're all on mute. So so it's take a deep breath in through your nose, and this little vibration over the lips. Visualize like a bee, as a bee would buzz. And you know how the bees have that nice. There's this sort of happy. I don't know. I always feel like happy when I hear the bees. So we're going to do 3 of these. So just take your own time with this. So you'll start, block your eyes, 4th finger and 3rd finger, block your ears. Deep breath in. So when you're ready, when you're finished, you just rest your hands and sit in the vibration, in the afterglow of that, or the after vibe, or however you want to think of that. So said to be very, very, the rhythm that really is healing for the heart, good, healthy for the heart. And we know how much, how important it is to have the right vibration around the heart. And so many disorders are caused by the heart being out of rhythm. And we're going to finish with lifting the hands. We're going to rest them into the heart, sternum. So you'll feel the bone, the sternum area. And then if you slide your fingers down, there's a little cavity here, called the sea of tranquility, or the sea of chi. You can slightly press in and breathe.
finishing with the hands in prayer.